of all, I'm sick of y'all calling my president a dictator and comparing him to a person that wanted to do genocide and hate. Marco, sorry, if you're gonna continue to be in MAGA world, like, you're gonna have to come with a little bit more fire. The way he did not denounce that woman.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe. And that's of concern because that is eroding. That's not an erosion of your military capabilities. That's not an erosion of your economic standing. That's an erosion of the actual values that bind us together in this transatlantic union that everybody talks about. And I think allies and friends and partners that have worked together now for 80 years should be able to speak frankly to one another in open forums. Without being offended, insulted, or upset. And I spoke to foreign ministers from multiple countries throughout Europe. Many of them probably didn't like the speech or didn't agree with it, but they were continuing to engage with us on all sorts of issues that unite us. So again, at the end of the day, I think that people give that is a forum in which you're supposed to be inviting people to give speeches, not basically a chorus where everyone is saying the exact same thing. That's not always going to be the case when it's a collection of democracies where leaders have the right and the privilege to speak their minds in forums such as these.
All right. And so I believe that they were talking about J.D. Vance in Germany, and she was trying to convey some type of comparison, I think, of him being Hitler. I mean, these people are just disgusting.
Yeah, and they're stretching. Marco, sorry, if you're gonna continue to be in MAGA world, like, you're gonna have to come with a little bit more fire. The way he did not denounce that woman, I felt like he was too nice, KJ. He was way too nice and too respectful. And Laura said, well said, Marco. Like, he was too nice, Laura. No, what she said was so egregious.
Yeah, it was egregious.
First of all, it was false.
Right.
And he kept his composure and he was very nice. I need the Latino side to come out, Marco. And you should have corrected her so fervently. Because for her to say, first of all, I'm sick of y'all calling my president a dictator and comparing him to a person that wanted to do genocide and hate people because of their skin color and who they were and their eyebrows and all of that. Like, stop it. It's really annoying. And the fact that nobody is correcting these media, like, in a way that is like denouncing them. I'm really hoping President Trump starts to sue them. The fact that this lady is able to even say these things shows what type of man that President Trump is. The fact that Joy Reid is still able to say these things. The fact that Jamal Bryant's church hasn't been shut down is evidence to who President Trump is. And I'm getting frustrated with people being so kind to these people when they are not kind. They are not nice. They are not respectful at all.
Right. You're right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we know President Trump won. He won, and they, are continuing down this line, of he's a dictator, he's Hitler, he's Mao, and all this type of stuff. It didn't work. It did not work during the election, and it still isn't working because, my goodness, Trump's approval ratings are higher than they were when he was in office in 2016. So it's not working.
Yeah.
Thank God the American people seem to see through all of this.
Yeah.
And like you said, she clearly lied. You know, free speech as a principle is the idea that individuals can express their opinions without government censorship. The Nazi regime did not uphold free speech. In fact, they suppressed dissenting voices. They banned opposing media and harshly punished those who spoke out against it. Sounds a little bit like the Biden regime to me.
Yes.
Deplatforming people who, you know, came out against COVID, you know, censoring us. You know, people couldn't say anything to the opposition of COVID, the origins and things like that. That sounds a lot like what Biden did, suppressing the laptop story when it was about to come out prior to the election. All of it was Biden to me.
And I mean, like, let's just keep it funky. I mean, the people who get unalived under the Hillary Clinton people, you know, the swimmer who died swimming in 4 feet of water in Barry Soetoro's home. I mean, like, all of these types of things was not happening around President Trump. They weren't. And it's amazing how these, you know, all these people are around the Democrat Party were, you know, certain, you know, just all of a sudden plane crashes happened to the lady in Hawaii. I think Candace Owens reported, like, you know, and they keep saying this, cocaine in the White House, exactly. All kinds of foolishness is happening under the Biden-Harris regime, and they keep accusing President Trump. And it's honestly, it's really frustrating. Like, it really is frustrating.
It is. It's very frustrating. Yeah.
And then they get mad when he fight back, KJ.
Exactly. But like we said, I mean, you know, I see what you're saying about Marco Rubio maybe having a little bit more spice to him. But I liked it. I liked him. And
get some Goya, sir. Come on, let that Cubano, Americano, Cubano. Come on, you got to get some Cuban spice. You got to get that Goya. Sir,
I like him. Because to me, he's just so, he always has such a poker face to me. And it's just like, he never seems wavering. He never seems like afraid. Like you never can get him, to me. It looks like he's just always just straight laced, to the point. And he basically was just like, man, you know, free speech was severely restricted back then. So you're way off, lady. But
see, you should have said that, KJ.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, very respectful. I think Laura said, yeah, he was very respectful, and she got it because this thing went viral, folks. And please share our broadcast of this as well. But it went viral all over the place today because it was so out of line for this reporter. But we know this is what CBS does.
Oh, I am Lisa Michelle. She said it's only been 3 weeks. Maybe you loosen up. I know, girl.
Yeah.
I need him. Look, no, but seriously, MAGA, y'all, we have to fight. I love that President Trump has got the fighting spirit, because for so long they have made us feel really embarrassed about it, or like, oh, well, don't say this, because we're not trying to offend, but y'all offend us all the time. And
Right.
Stop comparing this man who has been peaceful, who has been kind to you, who has opened up his office. He answers your questions. He's not trying to hide anything. They actually got a whole website with everything he's doing. Have you watched the Caroline, the MAGA Minute. The MAGA, She does the MAGA Minute updates, y'all. Go follow the whitehouse.gov on Instagram. And so the White House correspondent Caroline, she does a MAGA Minute, and she tells everything that they did in that week in 1 minute. It's really cool. Yeah. So he's trying, and the fact that they're getting away with this, it really like makes me mad. Like we the people can't just sit around and let them call him Hitler. Like
We
it
can't.
really bothers me.
You're right. We can't, and we won't. And, I'm just so thankful that he's in office. Can you believe it's only been 3 weeks, Crystal?
Isn't it great?
Done so much. Nobody can keep up with him. As you mentioned, he is constantly answering questions, constantly taking press, just random questions. We didn't see this. What he's done in 3 weeks, we didn't see in 4 years with Biden.
No.
He is so accessible.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's wonderful. It's amazing.
And Charlie, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Charlie Kirk actually talked about that before he was president. And she was saying that your boy in Florida, what's his name? The Florida governor.
DeSantis.
Mm-hmm. And when DeSantis was running, DeSantis was not accessible, all that. And he said Trump is probably the most powerful person in the world, and you can get him on the phone and he will answer your questions. And you can say, like, y'all, like, he is really the best president of our lifetime. And so when these people are saying these things about him, it really, like, I'm really starting to like be like, you don't like yourself, and more importantly, you don't like my children because you're trying to ruin their future.
America, they hate America.
Yeah.